you know, I ordered my McMuffin, and I was sitting there at the table eating it, and I realized that I was going to have a problem. This thing was slipping on itself in some way that it was going to end up a mess, and I was just going to have to, you know, lay it down and get my fork out and eat it. And I didn't really want to do that. I wanted it to be the nice little sandwich that it's designed to be, and that I would eat it and it would all be done and no mess, right? So I thought, okay, I got an idea. So then I laid down the sandwich and I unwrapped it and I looked at it and I saw that there were 4 discs. There were 2 pieces of bread, a piece of meat, and an egg. And so I lined all those discs up. And the place where I'd been eating was now out of whack. So I took a bite and everything was perfect. So I wrapped it all up and I ate the thing and it was perfect. There was no mess whatsoever. So, you know, that was that. And then I realized that I just had this insight at that moment that a whole little unit of activities had taken place. And it was initiated by this idea that I had, which was brought into effect because of some kind of need that I had in the background. And so, and that was, I say, the need for order. You know, I wanted this to work out and be orderly. So that brought this idea to my mind. I then evaluated it quickly, saw it was possible, and just went on and produced it, right? And so I had the result, and then I had the experience of the result, which was joy. So that little grouping of activities I call an ego unit. Now, why do I call this an ego? I want to pass something out here. So why do I call this an ego unit? Because the steps that the mind and body go through are linked by purpose for a particular end. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It is a series of steps that hang together as a unit. It is only valid as a unit, a whole. It is your ego that starts it and enjoys it when it is accomplished. It is your consciousness united with your body for the purpose of living. You are designed to achieve values. In the case of the McMuffin story, it was a need in the background that rattled my cage, so to speak. It had me see that something was not provided for that I wanted. That if something didn't happen, I was going to lose the value that fulfilled that need. What was the need in my case? Order. I wanted an orderly ending to eating a sandwich because I have a need for order. I didn't want a mess. And because I have a need for order, I act to gain or keep order. The need, order, sets up a particular value that I act to gain and or keep. Your energy is called forth for the purpose of achieving the value you have chosen. So in other words, when you're in this here, there's a place where you get the idea and then you evaluate the idea. And at that point it becomes a value because you say, I'm going to do it. And then it's something you act to gain and or keep. Before then, it's, you know, in the background. I'm showing this, in this picture, I'm showing like a bag which has what I call pre-values. And the shaker is a hand up here, and the shaker is need, you know. And if you have a need, it sort of shakes the bag, and then out pops an idea, right? And the pre-values are things like the things you'd like to do, you know how to do, you'd do if you could, you're willing to try, you know, all those things. Those are just general kind of categories. They're populated by the specifics of your life. So, you know, the idea comes out of there somewhere, and then it comes into your consciousness, and that's when the ego unit begins. Then you go through this process which involves these steps. And you get the result. Then, once you get the result, it fulfills a need. It continues your life. And it produces joy. That all goes together and that ends that unit. Now, the fact that you've got the result adds to your self-esteem, which means that you now know yourself, one that creates value and produces results. And that adds to your energy and your vitality. And so it goes back and is then available for the next time you get an idea. So that's the process.